Okay, you're welcome. We're going to get started with our warm-up. Please find your way to standing with your feet about hip width apart. And then we'll start by looking to the right. Come on the balls of the feet. Look forward, come down. And then looking left. And then coming down, looking right. Center and left. Back to center. And keeping the heels down, looking up. Center, down. Center, up. Center, down. Back to the center. Now leaning the head to the right. And then to the left. And then to the right. This time chin up a bit. Chin down a bit. Center lean to the left. Chin up a bit. Chin down a bit. Back to the center and then half circles with the head. Back to center, now to the shoulders. Thumbs in a light fist, elbows bent. Let's roll the shoulders back. And then forward. And then fingertips to the collarbone, roll the elbows forward. And then back. And releasing the arms. Now shifting to the left foot, lift the right. Shift to the right foot, lift the left. And back to center. Now big arm circles forward. And then back. And thumbs in the light fist, elbows out, circling at the elbow joint. Other way. Okay, and interlacing the fingers, wrist rolls. And then the other way. And then some waves. And then reverse. And then we're up in the palms. The palms are nice and warm. Then you take your hands to your kidneys. Take the hips around. Other way. And back to the center. Now shifting to the left foot, the right leg comes across and opens out 3 times. Big arc. And that same leg the other way 3 times. And then other leg opening out 3 times. Same leg inwards. And then heels together, toes together, rub the palms together. And the knees, rub the knees. The knees gotta take them around. Other way. And then standing up, ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. away. And then heels together, feet angled out. Lift the toes, relax the arms, and gently twist side to side. And back to center. Turn your heels out, feet parallel, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, really ground yourself, and then rock gently forward and back, keeping the feet glued to the floor. And back to the center. Lift one leg with both arms, then the other. Okay, and then shaking it out with a jump. One more time. And shake it out. Okay, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be starting in a wide-legged child's pose. I recommend today a blanket, a yoga strap, and a yoga block. If you have those three things, it'll be a lot easier to do more with this class. Okay, so starting with wide-legged child's pose, take your knees wide, big toes touch, sit back onto the heels, and then slide your arms or walk your hands forward. Just resting the forehead. Inhale, walking the hands in. Coming up to all fours, knees in. A little bit of a cat-cow. Repeat, belly down, look forward. Exhale, belly up, look down. Inhale again, belly down, look forward. Exhale, belly up, and down. Take a few more. Okay, now coming to neutral. From here, just watch first for a second because there's going to be a variation if you want to go a little further in this pose. So this is what we normally call puppy pose, and you can put a block under your forehead if that makes it easier. But if you want to take a little further, you bring your knees together, and you can take one leg up and balance there. One-legged puppy. Try to keep the hips pretty flat. Otherwise, it's regular puppy pose. For regular puppy pose, the hips are over the knees. The arms are forward, forehead's down. Again, if you want to take it further, you bring your knees closer and your right leg back and up. Then lowering that side. If you're doing the single-legged, other leg up. Try to keep your hips flat. And then down. And coming forward, please into a kneeling plank position. So your shoulders are above your hands, fingers spread wide, bit of a tuck to the tailbone. Now if you want, you can hold here, or you can lower to chaturanga and hold in chaturanga, or you can move between the two. Take a few breaths here. And then let's lower all the way to the floor. Please reach your left arm out to the side. Press your right hand into the floor to lift the right side. Top leg could come back. Some people like to reach back. I find I get deeper with this hand pressing into the floor, but whatever works for you. Okay, coming to flat now. Please draw the left hand in, right hand out, and then peeling up the left side of the body. And then coming back to flat. Bring the hands in, elbows back, neck long. Tuck the tailbone, curl up into a light cobra. Now see if you can hover your hands a little off the floor. Then hover them forward, reaching forward, holding, still with the feet down. And then slowly release, tuck your chin, rest the forehead. Now we're going to do a cross lift in lying tiger. So we're going to lift the right leg, left arm. Inhale, lift, right leg, left arm. You can lift the head as high as you can lift your left arm. And slowly releasing down. And other side, left leg, right arm, reaching long, straight, strong. And slowly release. Sliding the hands back. Once again, coming into a light cobra or into upward facing dog. And then coming back through, bent knee, downward dog. And walking the dog if you like. Starting to straighten the legs a little more perhaps. And re-engage both legs. Inhale, come forward into plank. Nice strong plank, core engaged. And then coming back to downward dog. This time lift the heels up. Let the heels down. Heels up again. And heels down. Bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top. Towards the top of the mat, come into flat back. Hold flat back. And from here, bending the knees, ragdoll forward, lying over your thighs. Release the head, neck, shoulders, and arms. And fingertips down. Send your left leg way back for a low lunge with the right foot forward. And lowering, keeping your back heel pressing back, lower your back knee. See if you can come up onto your thigh or even reaching up high. And lowering down, scoot your right foot a bit wide, Bring the hands down. Maybe you can get your elbows down to the floor on a block. And then maybe you can lift your back knee. This is lunging gecko, lunging lizard. And lowering the back knee, rising up, hop the back leg forward, and inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold, and bend the knees. Please send the right leg way back for a left low lunge. Keep your back heel pressing back as you lower your back knee down. Keep the hips sinking forward. Maybe you can come up onto your thigh, or tucking the tailbone, you might reach up. And then floating the hands down. Scoot your left foot a bit to the left. Hands forward. Start to bend your elbows back. And then if you can, lift your back knee. And lowering that back knee, pressing up. Hop the back leg forward. Come into flat back. Exhale and fold. And further legs, inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, namaste. Okay, welcome. If you're just joining us, actually I haven't mentioned yet, but we're doing some light inversions today. So that means we're going to be a bit upside down in some of the poses. Let's clear our mats. Get hydrated if you need a little sip of water. Now, if you're ever a bit upside down, like in downward dog, and you get lightheaded or nauseous, anything like that, just take a break, child's pose, go easy, and if you can come back into the next pose, then come on back when you're ready. Now let's start with a wide-legged stance on the mat. Pressing deeply to the outside edges of the feet. And then turning your left toes in, right toes out 90 degrees. Reaching up, tone the back leg, inhale. Then exhale, arms wide in warrior two. Then bring the right forearm down onto the thigh or hand to the floor. Left arm reaches diagonally in extended side angle pose. And anchor from the back leg, inhale. Up. And then right toes in, left toes out. Arms up, tone the back leg. Inhale, exhale, arms wide. And warrior two. And then bringing the left forearm down, right arm over top, extended side angle pose. And then anchor from your back leg, draw yourself up. Turn your left toes in, interlace the fingers behind you. Roll the shoulders back, lift up. Tone the legs continuously. Start to hinge forward, leaning with the heart, legs stay straight as you can. You could stay here in flat back. If you want to go further forward, you can round to forward, draw your arms over top. Inhale, slowly drawing yourself up, tucking the tailbone, release the hands to the hips. Bringing the heels in. Now we're going to interlace the fingers again, but this time reverse interlaced. So a different thumb on top. Turn the palms forward. And then take the knees out, sitting low, tucking the tailbone, arms up in goddess pose. Now, if you like, imagine there's a post in front of you. Inhale, reach up, grab the top of the post, and exhale with all of the strength of your will. Press the post into the ground. Good, and then pressing up. I'll bring the hands just above the knees. We're going to rest the weight of our upper body into the legs. So pushing the legs a little wider. Make sure your knees are comfortable with this. If they are, you might be able to shift a little side to side, tracking the knees in line with the toes. And back to center, sitting down low. Maybe you might be able to shift side to side. Support with your hands wherever needed. Again, tracking knees in the direction of the toes. Now come back to the center, walk the hands forward, turn the heels out, sit back, wide-legged downward dog. And walk your hands about halfway in. Come into flat back, wide-legged flat back position. You can hold here, or if you can fold more deeply, forward fold, maybe even bringing the crown of your head to the floor. And then starting to press up. Bring your feet in if that helps you to come up. Tuck the tailbone to draw you up to standing. And then shimmy the feet in the rest of the way. Great. Shake it out. Sip water if you like. Okay, and then we're going to find our way into downward dog in sun salutation A. So first, grounding in mountain pose. Inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, or jump back. Lower either halfway or all the way down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now please bring your feet closer together. And just like we did in puppy pose, if you want, you can take your leg up in scissor position. So this is different than scorpion tail. The legs are straight. Use the extra weight to drop your left heel a little lower. Hips stay flat as you can. And then lowering the right leg. Left leg up. And hips stay flat, legs are straight as you can. And lowering that leg down. Bend the knees, look forward. Step walker, jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Firm legs, inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, namaste. Now from here, we're going to go right into Surya Namaskara B. Bend in the knees, sitting low, coming into chair pose. Now before we go into the vinyasa, we're going to do a Uttanasana, standing forward fold. You might take your feet a bit wider. Forward folding. You could grab your ankles or your big toes. If you need to, you could have your knees bent. And hands down, step walker, jump back. You could go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa. Inhale up dog or cobra. Exhale downward facing dog. And now take your right leg up and over. Scorpion tail. Swing that right leg all the way forward between the hands. Turn the back heel down, rising up to warrior one. We're going to take this into down dog warrior. So keeping the legs as they are, we come forward and bring the arms forward like in downward dog with the legs staying in warrior. Down dog warrior. Lock the hands in, heel up, foot back. You could go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa as you prefer. Then left leg up and over. Swing that leg all the way forward. Turn the back heel down if you can. Then rise up if you can to warrior one. And bringing the hands down a bit to the right for warrior down dog. So upper body goes into downward dog, legs stay in that warrior. Walking the hands in, left heel up, foot back, go right to downward dog or through vinyasa. And bend the knees down. Take your knees together, feet wide, and start to sit back to whatever degree you can. Some people can go back onto the elbows, but don't force it. Make sure you're comfortable. It's harder to do with the knees close, so try to work to be able to do it with your knees close eventually. We'll take it deeper into the thighs. And then coming forward, coming up. Now we're going to do a version of side plank. Side plank you could do very simply like this or like this. You could do one of the variations that are more challenging as you prefer. Let's take 5 breaths both sides. Just hold basically for your own 5 breaths and do the other side. Okay, coming up. All right, coming down, other side, and other side plank. And coming back. Great. Now we're coming into pigeon pose. So from downward dog, swing your right leg forward. Keep the hips square to the front. You could be upright or bowing pigeon. Okay, and then coming back through and downward dog. Left leg forward. King pigeon, hips square to the front. Conscious toes, active feet. Find your way back. Downward facing dog. And find your way into Balasana. With a possible crow pose. Excuse me one moment. All right, and coming back, find your way to a seated position. Catching hold behind your hamstrings, balance there, extend the arms, chest lifted, feet up. Hands forward, maybe legs forward. And then coming down, Baddha Konasana, cobbler's seat. And just hold here for a second, please. So in a position where you can see me, hopefully, because there's going to be a few different options for this next thing. So we're going to come around and we're going to do our last kind of real inversion or upside down position. So you can either choose, it's going to be a version of downward dog, and you can either choose to do a tripod setup, a forearm setup, tripod with your head lightly on the floor. It's up to you. Okay, but I'll show you what it'll look like, and you can try and hold it for up to 15 breaths if you like. So this is the forearm version. And you can even take it more upside down by taking a leg up. This is the tripod version, very similar. And this is the one with the head down, where you can really kind of get upside down. All right. Be very careful. You don't want to go over. I don't recommend trying headstand for the first time without someone there to supervise and physically help you. So let's try a version that we can do. So it could be just a regular downward dog as well. That's also considered a light version. Holding it, maybe even taking a leg up. Okay, and coming down. Let's make our way back to seated. Catching hold of your big toes. Balancing on your 3 points, take your legs forward. You don't have to get the legs straight. For some people, this is more of a balance exercise. For some, it's more of a stretch. Maybe legs wide. And we're going to find this position on the floor. You could sometimes drop right into it. Sometimes it's better to not do that. Okay, wide-legged position to start. Sitting up tall. Could be hands behind, could be hands in front, depending on your forward folding capacity in this pose. But it's a neutral femur pose, which means that the thigh bone isn't rotating out or in, so the knees should basically point straight up. The toes flexing towards you should basically point straight up. You might be able to take this into more of a forward fold. And then sitting up, bringing the feet together, hands beside you, or press just sitting up in your lap. That's fairly, I wouldn't say easy, but it's easier to just sit up tall here, or press into the floor and lift if possible. Sometimes blocks are needed to even do this pose. And then slowly lowering down. Taking your right leg back into Janu-Shirshasana A, or if you have the hip opening, you could do Janu-Shirshasana B. But I recommend that your knee not be floating, so use a block if you're doing that one. If your knee's up. Okay, sitting up tall. Tilt forward, see if you can catch hold of your ankle, foot, or use a yoga strap. Where's my strap? There it is. Okay, slowly release that side, changing legs. Right leg forward, left leg in, Janu-Shirshasana A or B. Catch hold, so sitting up tall. Catch hold of the ankle, foot, or use a yoga strap. And slowly releasing that side. Now we're going to make our way around onto our back. I recommend that you have a block and a strap handy for this. First thing is going to be a little bridge, so lying back so you can just touch your heels. Feet hip width, feet parallel, bend the elbows, press the back, the elbows in the floor, lift up into little bridge. Now continue holding here. If you feel like doing a full wheel and you know what that is, you can do a full wheel if you like. And slowly lowering down. Hug your knees in towards you. Okay, now find that yoga strap. Hopefully you have one, and press both feet up into the strap. If you don't have one, just holding behind your hamstrings. It's not quite as good, but it'll work if you don't have one. And then keeping the right foot in the strap, take your left foot down along the floor. Now, if you're working without a strap, the hands can still be behind there. There's cool stuff you can do if you happen to have a strap where you can like set it behind your head and take a nap, for instance. That's one nice thing. There's other holds that you can do where you can pull down with the whole weight of your body using a strap. So it's a great prop. I do recommend getting one. Now from here, let's take the right leg out to the side. I don't recommend the head hammock for this one. It pulls your neck to the side. But this kind of neat way of holding it behind my head that I like to do. You can do a number of different ways. Try to keep the hips flat or square. That right hip tends to be further away from the wall by your left foot than your left hip. So keep the right hip down as you press out through the right heel. Then coming back up to the center. Start with the hips staying flat. Bring the leg over to the left though, but without letting that right hip come up yet. And then let the strap be in the left hand or the left hand holding the right leg. Right arm out to the side, let the leg go over into a gentle twist. So the right hip now can come up a bit off the floor. And coming back to the center now. Switch feet, left foot up, right foot down along the floor. I should mention if this is intense or in any way uncomfortable for the low back, have your right foot flat instead of straight out. Take the leg out to the left side. And come back to the center. Keep the hips flat, draw the legs a bit over to the right. And then over into a twist, letting the left hip come up. And coming back to the center and release. Hug both knees in. And see if you want, you can catch hold of your ankles for happy baby or your feet. Try to keep your hips down. And then pressing up legs. Viparita Kirani. If you have a block, it becomes more of an inversion and more therapeutic to have a little bit of height under the hips. You can also move this pose to the wall and finish the class in this pose. Or you could move it to the wall and just hold it for another 10 or so breaths. Anytime you're ready, find your way into your final relaxation position or meditation position. I'll be offering a little short meditation at the end, though, if you want to do that after this relaxation. So for now, deep relaxation position. Take a few deep breaths, mindful breaths, relaxing breaths. Please feel free to stay longer. I always recommend staying longer if you can, but if you're needing to go, wanting to get up, now is a good time. I'm going to stay for a couple more minutes and meditate with you if you want. But if you have to go, thank you very much for joining us this week, and I hope to see you again next time. Namaste. For those of you still with us, staying in a deep, relaxing position or finding a meditation posture that's relaxing. Just become aware of your breath. Natural, normal breath. Notice if there's any tension in the body, just continuously release and relax. So notice if your mind has wandered, keep coming back to the breath without judgment, without frustration. Just noticing and returning to the breath. Notice if the quality of your breath has changed over the period that you've been sitting. Just notice, and without judgment, just noticing little details of the breath. Please continue meditating if you're able. I hope that I see you again next week. Namaste. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. Hope you can keep coming.